Hey everybody, and welcome along to this week's edition of the Irish Golfer Podcast. Peter Finnan here, and joined as always by Ronan McNamara.
How are you getting on?
Not too bad. Special guest in studio this week as well, Stuart Grehan.
How are you doing?
How are you keeping?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah, keeping well.
Back to the land of the living.
Exactly, yeah.
It's been an eventful month or so for you, so we'll get into that in a minute. We'll give a shout out first to our podcast sponsors. I keep forgetting to do this every week, so we're doing it at the right time this week. Fitting, actually, because they're actually partners of yours as well. They helped you out a bit as well. So this podcast is brought to you in association with Flowgas. So visit flowgas.ie to see what they can do for you with your energy needs. As we harp on so much in this podcast about, they do a lot for both amateur and professional golf, so it's good to support back a company that puts so much into the game we all play and love. So flowgas.ie, perfect time of the year for all these plans they have coming out for the winter. So yeah, Stuart Grehan, let's get stuck in then. They've been good to you, haven't they?
They have, yeah. In fairness to John Rooney and John Conroy, they've been very good to me since the start of the year, and I actually next year are going to represent them as well. So it's nice to have a kind of a 2-year deal. So we'll see them on the amateur scene.
No, it's been more like, I don't know where to start with this. This is the thing. Like, it's been a mad, I'd say, year, but a really mad 6 months.
Yeah.
For you in your life.
Yes.
I don't know where we'll start. We'll this will be a real back and forward, past now. So let's start. So for people that don't know, you played your last professional tournament 2 weeks ago. And you are now looking to get your amateur status back.
Yeah, in the process of that, actually got the word yesterday that I'll get my status back in 6 months. So that's good. I thought the process might be a little bit longer, but luckily it fell just under the kind of 12-month mark. So 6 months, and I'll be back for April.
You'll be back for April, so back in time for the Masters, amateur status back.
Yeah, the Masters and the West. So a little bit different, but that's the kind of plan for now.
How does that process work then? So you just went back to them, apply for it back, and do you know handicap-wise or what way that'll be assessed or done?
Yeah, so you apply online with the RNA. It's a reinstatement, kind of to get your status back, and it's based off the amount of money you've made playing on the tour, divided by the amount of events, and whatever that figure comes to, depending on what it might be 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, depends how much money you've made. So I just fell just underneath the 12-month mark, so that's how it works.
Perfect.
So it's good.
And do you know what index you're going to get, or what, roughly?
Yeah, so I've used some of my professional scores that I've sent to County Louth, and after working most of them out, kind of floating around the kind of +5, +6 mark, so just under +6.
So pretty similar to what you were when you turned pro.
Yeah, I think it was +5 when I turned pro. So yeah, that's
exciting. Now that is exciting though when it happens so quick, because it gives you a target straight away, like that. You know, right here, I'm straight back in the seat here. Like, there's no gap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because the next 6 months are pretty much, there's not much golf
happening
here. Yeah, it's barren. So just kind of I was actually looking at the schedule for next year and kind of mapping out where I can and can't play. So it's exciting. It's I didn't think it'd be happening this quick, but it's nice to have kind of a look forward and have a bit of goals and stuff like that for next year.
And have you engaged with Golf Ireland then already about the championships and about what I want to play or what a schedule would look like for you?
Yeah, because I didn't know the process at all of trying to get my handicap back, and I've been in touch with Golf Ireland, and Mark Worley, he's been very good to me, to be fair, and he just kind of guided me through the process, and we got that sorted pretty quickly in the last kind of 2 weeks as such. So it's kind of all happened very, very fast.
That's super. No, I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. I wasn't expecting it to be that quick, but yeah, let's go back. We'll hit on all then anyway. That's the good news stuff. Let's go back to, when did you realise you were at a crossroads at the game?
Is probably this time last year. Myself and Carla, my wife, and our dog, we went to Spain, and it was before that I was like, look, I don't even know if I'm going to give golf a go next year. And I went down to Spain, won a couple of times, got a few sponsors back on board, and I said, look, I'll give it another go. But in the back of my mind, there was always something itching at me that, like, I don't know if I'm making the right call here, even though I was playing nicely at the time, and the baby on the way obviously as well, which is a huge life change. So that was the moment, and when I was at a big crossroads. But when I went down there, played well, won a couple of times, like, you know what, I'll give this one more go and go from there. But that was the point when I didn't know whether golf or professional golf was for me.
Because it can be like an addiction, can't it? Like it's like because you're good enough.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you've been in those, and it's just like, if I do this, and 6 more months, I'll get to where I need to be. And because the life you can gain from being a professional golfer, from doing something you love, it's tough to step away from the professional side.
Yeah, it is an addiction. And I'm still like, even now, after all that's gone on, like, I'm still trying to get better. I'm still going out practicing. I'm still, watching my diet, going to the gym, all that sort of stuff. Like, it's still want to be the best player I can be. It just won't be in the professional game.
They're good habits to be bringing back, though, aren't they? They're really, like, you must have a total different outlook on the game than you did 5 years ago when you were an amateur. In the old, like, it has much evolved in your psyche in that time?
I'm not sure. I think, yeah, maybe from being a professional, like when you go out, you're kind of playing for your livelihood, I suppose. It kind of gets a bit intense, and again, being a professional, you're always thinking about shooting the lowest score possible in terms of, loads of birdies, all that sort of stuff. In terms of psyche, that was probably the biggest difference, really. And it's so cutthroat as well, like, my God. But I think that's the only kind of difference in psyche as such.
I let Ronan get a word in edgeways here now. I'm kind of hogging the airwaves here because I'm interested in just getting these stuff in. But you mentioned, it's the first mention of it, money. Playing for money. It's hard.
Very hard. Very difficult. It's doggy dog out there. And look, obviously the level I was playing at the last couple of years, it's when you're playing Challenge Tour or even tiers underneath that, it's very, very difficult to make money or to get by. You just need super sponsors and people behind you to kind of help you, but at the same time, like, it's still very, very hard.
And especially because you're a numbers man yourself, like, you know how the world works. You're involved. We'll get into all that as well. Setting out a new career path and stuff like that as well. But it's you realise very fast when you have to play to put bread on the table.
Yeah,
the consequences of not, and I'm sure that has entered your thought process during tournaments, before tournaments, after tournaments, a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I was always a guy that not worried about, like, it's always not worried about money, but you're always thinking about it. If you miss a cut one week, oh my God, I've spent, like, say, 2,000 this week or whatever it may be. And yeah, when you miss a couple of cuts, and you see the bank account kind of going down, it's not a nice thing to look at.
So tournament wise, we go back to the start of, say, last season. How would you have gone about planning your season? Like, is it spreadsheet wise? Your ins from your sponsors. I don't know when, like, Golf Ireland support and stuff like that would have ended for you last year. Was it a year?
Yeah, last year. Yeah,
last year. So, like, you start off with your incomings, and then, like, it doesn't take long to whittle through that if you're missing cuts, doesn't it not?
No, definitely not. Yeah, you get how it worked for me is I would have got kind of a lump sums from my sponsors at the start of the year. And then from that, I was able to plan. So I would have went on and booked maybe 40 or 50 flights, literally, because I knew exactly where I was playing, when I was playing. But yeah, once you go through your entry fees, accommodation, flights, it's each event. I had a budget in my head, depending where I was going, obviously, but kind of 1,500 per event. So you work that out by 20 events. I don't know how much money that is off the top of my head, right? But it's close to 30 grand anyway, and that's before you even make a penny, like, So. That's how I kind of worked it, but yeah, when you start missing cuts and stuff like that, it runs out pretty quickly.
And did you, like, from the last year, it was looking at that spreadsheet a lot, going, where are my, Jesus Christ, I need to do something here. Like, what's the closest to during a season that you've looked at something and go, like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, that's a really, I remember, I don't know if it was the year before COVID or maybe the 2 years before, but I had 2 years there where I hardly made a penny, to be honest. I was in a really dark space, or dark place rather, and it was a horrible time. I think it was 2019 or 2020, one of them anyway, and that was very difficult.
And you're having, like, you're facing into COVID then after not doing stuff, like, it's And there's no support network outside your own family and close friends. Like, you know, you're kind of, I know it's sport, it's cutthroat. It's you're on your own in essence, you know.
Yeah. Like you have your coaches and you have, you know, friends and stuff like that, but the people who are really close to you are the ones that kind of bring you up. You know, obviously my wife Carla, my mum and dad, and her mum and dad and stuff like that. You know, there's a very close kind of group that you kind of rely on. But at the end of the day, like, it's great having these people, but it always comes down to yourself, in my opinion. Like, it's like, if I need to pick myself up, yes, I talk to my wife Carla, but at the same time, I need to do it myself. I need to pick myself up, and that's really hard, especially, you know, in golf, because like, it takes over your life, and you have a few days or a few weeks, and it's just everything seems so hard and so difficult, but you just have to keep kind of getting through it.
I'm playing like the blame game, and you know the fingers pointing at you, and like there's no one else to blame. You're the one doing it. You're, you know, burning through the cash, going playing these, and it's a difficult spot.
Difficult spot, yeah, and you have to go out and practice yourself. Like, you can get all the information you want, and it's great, and these people have really helped me and stuff like that. But I have to go out and do the work, and I have to see the results, and I see the progress and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, it's just it's tough. Like, it's very tough.
The game itself, I am gonna let Ronan in now in a second, but the game itself, love wise, passion wise, any time I've spoken to you, you've seemed to maintain that love of the game, that it hasn't. I don't know who was said to me before, like, you know, try and keep the love of the game going as long as you can, because you'll be the guy that's playing this for a job 7 days a week. Like, it's just when that pressure is on. Were you that guy playing like a job, or were you still in love with the game, or was the fairy tale the sheen had worn off a little bit?
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, sometimes I remember like finishing a few rounds and like I didn't want to practice, just get in the car and go home. And other times then, you know, I'd love the game even though I wasn't playing well at the time. So it's kind of ebbs and flows a little bit. Right now, I still love the game. I still am addicted to it. Still love going out, you know, playing with friends, and even playing competitively. I still enjoy. It's just, yeah, just won't be doing it as a job anymore, I guess. So I don't have to worry about the financial side of things then. But yeah, like sometimes I did fall out in love with it. Yeah.
Is it a weight lifted off your shoulders? Do you feel like there's more freedom now you've made a choice?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I don't think it'll actually hit me for another 2 or 3 months. But yeah, even when I was out playing the other day, I kind of hit a few pretty poor shots, and I didn't like feel as agitated.
Yeah.
So that's all I can say on that right now. But I think long term I'll feel a lot better about it.
Stage is yours, Ronan.
I felt like a third wheel there for the last 15 minutes, but I enjoyed the listen. When I listen back, I can skip forward through all of this.
Exactly.
Stuart, just to bring it back to the Czech Challenge, which was your last tournament, I suppose one of the reasons why you're giving it up was probably summed up in the fact that first start in the Challenge Tour, 4 rounds in the 60s, bogey-free weekend, and you only made just over €1,500. Like, that's the kick in the teeth, I suppose, you've been dealing with for a few years, putting so much effort in, and then when you do play well, still getting such little reward for it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, as you said, all those little things there. I mean, what was I, 16 shots off to win?
I think so. It was a bit of a hen run, the score. Like,
it was, yeah. The course is scoreable and stuff like that. But like, I played decent. Obviously, didn't have a great putting week or whatever. But 16 shots, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still miles off, even though I felt like I played okay. Yeah, and you say, well, 1,500 probably just covered my expenses that week. You know, and that's not very sustainable, is it?
No, and I know sponsors help you out a lot as well, and that's vitally important. But just from your perspective and what you've learned over the last 6 or 7 years and what you've experienced, like, how difficult is it to make a living on tour when you are sort of scrambling on the Challenge Tour and even the couple of tiers below that?
Yeah, it's so hard. I don't think I can actually explain it until you actually do it, if that makes sense. And I give kudos to everyone who actually tries making it as a pro, because like it's so hard and so cutthroat, and we all put so much work in and stuff like that. But yeah, it's very difficult. I mean, the standard, I feel, the last couple of years has really gone up, even at like a third tiers, even Challenge Tour. Like, there's just I think with technology and coach and all that sort of stuff, I've just seen everyone's just getting a little bit better. So that's another thing. And everyone's just so young these days.
You have a backlog of COVID lads as well. So you have lads that got stuck in the system that couldn't progress on.
Yeah.
Nowhere to play, and then the European Tour Challenge Tour have changed so much in the last 3-4 years as well. So you've a glut of lads dropping back and 10 times more lads trying to come through.
Yeah, it's like everyone's trying to funnel through this little kind of tiny hole, and there's only so many people who can get through, you know. So it's just very difficult. But yeah, again, as I said, kudos to anyone who gives it a go, because it's not easy.
Yeah, someone like Connor Purcell is a great example of someone who turned pro during COVID and had to kind of make his way through the Alps Tour and come up, and it looks like he's going to get a DP World Tour card as well. So it does show there are success stories out there as well.
Oh yeah,
Tom McKibben.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Like, the lads are so good, like, so solid. And yeah, like, there is lads that get through, and you know, it's great to see. It's just, for me, it didn't happen. I think you need a little bit of luck as well. I think you need to be good enough, don't get me wrong, but I think you need a little bit of a break, and I feel like that's, for me, it just wasn't the thing. You know, I just didn't get a break. Obviously there's areas of my game that I could have improved, but I think if I got a little bit of luck here and there, I think things might have been different. But
yeah, and it is a lot of it's down to the starts. I was talking to a lot of guys, like, as in, the golf ball doesn't know what tournament you're playing in or what the benefits of playing well that week are, you know. So the way, like, you've played really well in some. I remember following you on the K Club at the Irish PGA event. Like, the golf you played that week was top class golf. If that was in a Challenge Tour event, you would have been thereabouts.
Yeah.
If it was the Irish Challenge on the same course that you've did, and that's the thing that people don't necessarily think about it. It's not like, you're not saying you're hard luck. It's doing it in a particular week, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Timing is huge. Yeah, like, I would have loved to. I felt like, for me, every time I went to Q school, I was always kind of battling something. So I'd love to go there feeling like, you know, everything was in sync, and I feel like that would have. And maybe in the future I might go. I don't know. Probably not, to be honest. But I felt like, you know, if I played well at Q school, maybe I would have got through that if everything was, like, in decent shape.
But, like, there's been times as well, and even you said you won a few times during the winter, and, like, you've won on tour, you've won on the Euro Pro, but then there's times where you're coming off a good stretch of golf and you've nowhere to play for, say, 2-3 months or whatever it might be, and then all of a sudden when you tee it up again, you're almost back to square one. Like, there's no opportunity to get momentum going in your career then as well.
Yeah, it's difficult, yeah, especially, you know, Challenge Tour takes, I think, was it 3 months off, 4 months off, and same with kind of tour tiers, if not more, they take nearly 6 to 8 months off. So yeah, when you're kind of hitting form at the end of the year and you just kind of miss out, then you're not playing for ages. So yes, there's opportunities to go to, like, Asia and stuff like that, but that for me wasn't really a runner. So yeah, it's momentum, like, is huge in golf, I think, as well. I know you take a good bit of time off between shots, but at the same time, you do feel, if you're playing well, you kind of ride that crest of the wave, you know.
Yeah, golf's in an interesting place, as everybody knows. Like, it's so easy to get rich, I think, from golf, but it doesn't seem like that money filters down throughout the levels. Like, it just doesn't.
No, not yet. I think maybe in the future it will. Maybe soon it will. But yeah, it hasn't kind of come down just yet. I don't know what the process is or how that works, but maybe that'll happen in the next couple of years. Who knows? We'll see what happens there.
Is there a sense of comfort, though, as well, that for yourself personally, that even though you're retiring from professional golf, you're still going to keep up the game? Like, is that important for you?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, as I was saying to Peter, like, I still love the game and want to get as good as I can, and like, I still have ambitions to kind of do other things in the amateur game. The few itches that I need to kind of scratch, it feels.
We'll get into them. Don't worry.
So yeah, I think it's important that I can still have that. Like, I love competition, like competitive. I love that sort of, you know, trying to win an event or whatever it may be. So I think that's important to kind of, at least I'm going back to that, you know.
Yeah. And at the Czech Challenge as well, I'm sure you knew that it was going to be your last time teeing it up. Like, when you did finish on the Sunday, how did you feel? Was it emotional, or did you kind of feel, oh well, that's it, back to family life?
Yeah, I actually remember on the last green, all right, I knew I didn't have a bogey for a while, and I had a 2-putt from about 50 feet or something on a par 3, and I had about a 6-footer left, and I was like, please don't miss this putt as your last I was professional. So yeah, I was a little bit emotional, I think. Yeah, I didn't like cry or anything, but I just thought to myself, you know, this is it. Like, yeah, it was a strange feeling.
Was that a nice plane ride home then, or was it a tough plane ride home, or was it nice just to, you know, the curtain's gone down, I'm happy with that now, I'm at peace with this, just on to the next?
I think more so like that. Yeah, at peace with it. Yeah, I didn't fly home that night. I flew home the next day. Actually, wasn't feeling great. I had a bit of a cold that week, but yeah, I actually felt, yeah, that's it. That's fine. I'm happy enough with that.
A nice baby, nice family to come home to. That's it. That's what
Exactly,
it's all about, isn't it? They're the important things, though. They are, and you do. I'm sure you've leaned on that a lot over the last 6 months. Of, like, just look at what's important here. Like golf. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, literally.
You know, in the micro macro scheme of things.
Yeah, literally. When I'm home with him now, like, I mean, yeah, as you were talking about earlier on, like, there's not much free time and all that sort of stuff, and you're just kind of trying to keep him happy and stuff like that, and like literally like 5 hours goes by and I haven't even thought about golf, like, or, you know, it hasn't even crossed my mind. So yeah, it's it's deadly.
Will you regret, do you think, anything about your professional career if you look back and see? I know it's a very deep question, but and it's very now and raw for you just after stepping away, but do you think, is there anything already in your head that you think, because you've obviously toyed with this for a while, it's not just something that you make, you said it's a year ago, so like, is there something that you can put your finger under yourself, I wish I just might have done that a little different, or I could have went that path at that time and that's worked for someone else? Or
yeah, Jesus, I'm not sure. That's a really good question. I'm not sure. I don't know how to answer that yet. Maybe ask that in a while. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have any regrets as such.
Regrets is a strong word, but you know what I mean? Just a little like, I could have.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I've put in a lot of work, put in a lot of time. I don't think I've could have put in any more time and work, as I said, sorry, really. No, I don't think I have any. No, I don't think so.
Can we look on the positives now?
No, but they are positive. No, but they are good.
No,
like,
it's good.
We'll get in, because it's so deep. There's so many layers to what you have been trying to achieve, and like, it's like anything. I don't know it from a golfing point of view, but I know from a life point of view. Like, getting married, having kids, and stuff like that, it hits you hard. It does, like, as in a positive way. But you reassess everything you stand for. Like, your time is not your time anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
And as a professional athlete last year, when you realise you're going to have a child, and this is brilliant, it's the most positive thing that'll ever happen to you, but you have to reassess you as a person, as in what I give in Ireland compared to what I can give when I'm away. It's not an on-off switch anymore. It's tough.
Yeah, no, it's hard. Yeah, Jesus. I mean, even during the season there, when I was leaving, you know, the baby's only 4 weeks old, and leaving, like, that was really difficult. I found that very hard, to be honest. So yeah, yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, no, it is. And like, I'm not looking for a sympathy vote or anything, but it is. It's stuff people don't. And it boils back into even like the people that just throw abuse at Rory McIlroy all the time. It really galls me looking at, like, you know, there's a family behind all that. You know, he's going through stuff on and off the course, and there's kids involved, and it's tough. Like, it's tough. He has the luxury of being able to make decisions and can afford to do whatever he wants. But there's so many guys at your level of golf going through the exact same thing that, and you just never know about it. And we're writing about stuff or covering stuff, and you just don't know what you're opening sometimes. From our point of view, it's just it's a tough one for I'm sure you to reassess your own personal goals, life goals.
Yeah. I've changed since he was born. I feel like life has just changed overnight, to be honest. You know, and the part of this for me not playing anymore is because of him. You know, so which is good, and we're delighted about that. I don't want to miss some birthdays and, you know, all that sort of stuff.
First
as well.
steps and first talking, and there'd be nothing worse than seeing that on FaceTime.
Yeah, and as I said, like, I've given golf 6 years, you know, of time, hard work, all that sort of stuff. So, and look, maybe it might happen in 2 years, who knows? But yeah, I just don't want to miss any of those kind of life things either.
I do like the way you're not closing the door as well. Like, you know, you could quite possibly kick on massively at an amateur level, open some doors that you never thought could open, and something else might come of that. Like, it's not you're not actually like this is not like a funeral. You're not retiring. You're not. You're literally changing course of your golf career back to the amateur side, focusing on different things in your life at this time.
Exactly.
But you're not closing the door on the professional side of things fully either.
Yeah, I know. I think I am. But yeah, it's like playing in like huge events. Yeah, definitely not closing the door on that.
Yeah,
definitely not.
Like, you seem pretty positive about the whole thing, Stuart, but it's because you've got a plan B. Like, this isn't just I'm packing away the clubs and God knows what am I going to do. You're not going to be sitting down looking around and wondering what's going to happen. You do know what you're doing, and you're going back doing something that you actually enjoy doing as well, which is obviously a great thing.
Yeah, I'm starting a job at DFP, Pension Investments up in Dundalk. So starting that now full time on the 4th of November. So they're like a leading financial advisory firm.
about to get better.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, they're huge, and I think they're managing some like 800 million in client management kind of funds and stuff like that. So I'm excited. Be different, but at the same time, like I think I can do a really good job at that. As I said, I love it, and of all the things that like mortgage protection, pension policies, and investment, and I suppose that's what makes them a bit unique compared to kind of other firms that like to have an on-site actuary and an investment team there. So, and that's where I intend to focus. So I'm excited to kind of start that. And
Does the structure seems to appeal to you as well?
yeah,
That like you can plan now. You can if there's a wedding on, if there's a special occasion on, like it's not like I'm away playing a tournament that week. Like it's like just apply for holidays.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, myself and Carol actually go on our honeymoon now in a few weeks. So I had to kind of mention that. So we can plan now and kind of look forward and stuff like that. So it's good.
The Ronan mentioned Plan B there. Like this is Plan B, Plan C for you. Like a year and a half ago. I remember seeing a LinkedIn post from you 6-8 months ago when it's DFP, is it?
DFP, yeah.
When DFP did get involved, they got involved as a sponsor of you to try and help you in your golf game, but they had a plan B for you and you had a plan B for it seems like a really, really good it struck me when it came out first because it's your background, it's what you wanted to get into work-wise, and it was obviously a perfect blend of these guys want to support me in what I'm doing now, but if this doesn't work out, these guys want to support me if that doesn't work out. Like, you can't lose.
Yeah, exactly. Owen Doohan is chairman there. He reached out to me on LinkedIn actually, and he obviously seen I was studying, and obviously a golfer as well. He's a member of Lahinch, and obviously Walker Cup there is in 2026, so it'll be kind of nice to blend the two there. But he's been very good to me. We keep in contact quite regularly, and it's not too far away from the house, and everything is good in that regard. So I'm excited to start. I'm just trying to think of how I can best kind of apply myself to that job and stuff like that. But I'm gonna learn as much as I can now in the next few weeks before I start full time and kind of hit the ground running then.
Walker Cup, you mentioned Walker Cup. I was waiting for you to mention it before I did. Yeah, that's a massive carrot.
It is
down. Like we're 2 years out. That is the goal of all goals. Because it was your goal before. I remember playing with you in an am thing out in Carton House just before you got your injury.
Yeah.
When you were really on the cusp of that before. So you've had to deal before with the pain of not quite getting there, and like you could have been, I think you were in the top 15. If we were getting 10 players to go, you were definitely on the next 5.
Yeah, that was hard. I mean, like that is a goal, but like I'd be a working man now, I guess.
Yeah.
But like there is ambitions to kind of go back and win a few championships, play for Ireland, and as I say, that Walker Cup in Lahinch would be special. But yeah, it is an itch. That I regret going out and playing that football match at the time in Maynooth, and I would love to. It'd be kind of lovely to kind of come full circle and kind of play a Walker Cup in Ireland. That'd be amazing. But yeah, like it's an ambition, but like I will be striving towards it, but I'm not going to be like fixated on that goal. But yeah, it would be pretty
But
special.
it's a nice one. That, like, you're ticking a box that you thought you would have ticked
Yeah.
before. Like, people that don't know that, but how did you pick up that injury again? We're going back to what, 2016, 17, even before that.
Yeah, I think it was 2017.
17.
Yeah, 2017. Yeah, I was in a study break in Maynooth. Went out and played a bit of football and got my leg stuck in like a tennis sort of thing and kind of fell back and kind of broke my radial head in my forearm. So yeah, that was me out for a few weeks, or a few months rather.
Should have been studying.
Yeah,
I know.
Study breaks are for studying.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, I'll never forget.
And because that was your hopes and dreams at that time. Like, that was crushing for you because that was all in. You were this is what you were going to do, and Walker Cup was 100% the next step.
Yeah, exactly. I did everything up to that point, and I just came back from South Africa, I think, with the Irish team, and had a nice few results down there. Played well in Spain, and yeah, everything was kind of going that direction. So yeah, that was a big blow. I think I missed out on like 7 huge events, and it was just too far, or too much to kind of recoup all that. So yeah, it was tough.
You're still young, though, to be returned to the amateur ranks. Like, you're only 31.
Mm-hmm.
31. Like, do you feel when you do get going, you still have your best years of golf ahead of you, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. I'm still working with my coaches, Gordon and Dave, and I feel like my swing is probably the best now than it's been in years. So I mean, yeah, everything is still good. I'm still gonna be practicing, I say, like that and stuff like that. But I think like I don't know when I'm gonna peak as such. But I do feel like my game is still good enough, and I still feel like it's good enough to be a pro, to be honest. It's just it's just too hard to kind of make the financial ends meet, as we were talking about.
Yeah, very successful working amateurs though as well in Ireland at the moment. Collie Campbell, Peter O'Keefe, Keelan Rafferty as well. So it can be done.
It can be done, yeah, exactly. And as the lads, I am working full time in the FB, but there is, as I said, there is ambitions, and to kind of keep playing as a pro golfer, or sorry, as an amateur golfer, alongside working. So hopefully, put in a bit of good golf when I'm playing, and go from there.
Do you think this? I think this could be a bit of a barometer for other guys as well. There's some guys maybe didn't have the foresight that you have to be doing your college stuff in the backgrounds as well, that might look at that now and might, have a plan B or a plan C before, you whittle away your 30s flying around the world trying to achieve something that might never happen.
Yeah, exactly. Like I didn't want to be the person that,
because there's an ego involved in this as well. Like, you're, there, not there's a stigma around it. You don't, like, some guys might feel they're a failure or stepping away. You're not a failure at all. Like, you're actually doing something else that you really want. Yeah, it hasn't worked out, but that's not a failure.
Yeah, and that's actually a really good thing you said there, because for me last year, if I was stepping away, I would feel that way, if I was being honest. Because like I would have always, or people would always associate me with being a golfer, which I was, but now like I'm Stuart Grehan, like going into finance, and that'd be kind of like my thing. But yeah, that did hit me though, or that kind of thing of being a failure. I did think about that last year, alright, but I feel like my kind of psyche has changed in the last kind of like 4 or 5 months on that. But yeah, I don't like guys who are say struggling, maybe challenge tour or third tier tours. Like, you've so much time off, like between now and say the start of next year. Like, why not like learn like a QFA, or maybe do a course in, I don't know, Excel or PowerPoint or something. Just
anything, just get started.
Just upskill. Like, you've so much free time. Like, you can't be practicing 9 hours a day anyway. Maybe some people do, I don't know. But like, just on the side, just do a little bit of upskill, and like, and if it didn't work out, then you can go into a job or whatever. Yeah. So I think I was delighted I did that, and I got advice from people in Sport Ireland to help me with that. So I'm delighted and thankful to them for that.
Well, no, but it is a big thing. I like, and they're big things to be talking about, like a failure or your own ego, or like, golf doesn't define Stuart Grehan.
No,
and whereas it may have before, you may have looked at it like that. I'm a golfer. Like, if I don't achieve at this, what am I?
Yeah.
They're very hard things to look at inwardly.
Yeah, and yeah, that's what I felt like the last kind of few years, to be honest. and I didn't want to step away because of that.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by a barometer for other guys. Like, you know, we're not going to talk about other people. That's their business and do. But from my point of view, we'd always look at guys like you and want the best for you, you know, so the way on and off the golf course. And it'd be nice to see if people were struggling, but mentally with the game and stuff like that, just to, there are other outlets here. Like, you're showing someone that there is another career, probably a better career, to be had, you know. It's questionable at times, but like there are other paths, and it's never too late.
Never too late. No. Sure. As I said, like, I'm 31, so I'm not, like, you know, I'm not young anymore either. So it's and look, I've been given a great opportunity with the FP, and to be honest, you know, it's close to the house, and I think it's they've been very good to me. So I just, when I got that offer, I was like, this seems like the perfect fit.
What's been the reception from people after you made the decision, made the career change? Like, you said off air that somebody said to you that it was a ballsy move, but you don't really see it that way, do you?
No. I've got some great feedback from people saying, like, you know, you're very brave and all this sort of stuff. And to me, it kind of feels like probably the right call, to be honest. But yeah, it's great to hear some feedback, even from other players and stuff like that. I'm not going to mention who it is or anything like that, but it's nice to hear. It's nice to hear. Maybe the kind of first person to kind of do it in a while. So, it is. It's good to hear that kind of feedback.
Yeah, it takes one to start a trend, as always.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like it is a brave thing to do. It is because you have to do it publicly. If I want to change my job, no one gives a shit. You know, sort of way. Like, you're in the public eye. You know, everything you did on a golf course was scrutinised by us and others. All your results are there forever for people to see. Yeah, all your graphs are there. You know, I don't have my personal, Ronan's personal performance charts aren't there for everyone to see out in the public eye. Yours are. So it is a ballsy thing to do.
Like, I suppose. Yeah, when I can think about it like that. Yeah, to be fair,
because you have other, like, you know, you're driving around, walking around your hometown. You're going back. Like, people look at you like you're a professional athlete, and you know it's different. It is different. So I wouldn't underestimate that. I do think it is a ballsy thing. I think that's a good statement that someone's said. Yeah, I think you should be giving that a little bit more credence.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah,
but on the, like, we've covered a lot, right, at the start of this year as well, and I know you're going back into the amateur golf ecosystem, but you're a good one for us to sound out a little bit on the, we refer to it as the gap at the top, as the succession of, you know, not everyone's going to be a Rory or a Shane, or, you know, Tom McKibben looks as though he's carrying that mantle now and going and closing that gap himself. But you've been at the real forefront of that evolution from what we would see as our top amateur guys over the last decade coming into the pro game. You're one of the first to publicly step away from it. Is there anything that you think could be done differently system-wise? Like, as in, what happened the day after you turned amateur, the day after you left the amateur game last into the pro game, your first season? Does that hand of a Neil Manship and guys like that, the national coach, does that just disappear, or is that still a constant?
I know he would have still been in contact quite a bit. I've quite a good relationship with Neil, to be fair. So we kind of send the odd message to each other here and there. But like Sport Ireland would have been talking to me quite a bit. You know, obviously from a finance point of view, it's been very good over the last I don't know how many years I got it, 4 or 5 years, and they've given me a lot of opportunities in terms of starts, which has been good, which has been great. Sorry. So I was able to kind of play as much as I could on the Challenge Tour. But
you know what I'm getting at? You know, it's that, like, you did all the work in this, Ronan, at the start of the year, and like the biggest thing that it highlighted from our point of view was, like, you'd hear it a lot of guys at like Q School, just to pick Q School out, guys as pros and guys as amateurs and that have just migrated in. And you see other pods of like Team France or Team Denmark or Team, and they have professionals that have done this before, like that have failed at golf or that have achieved something in golf, and they do it more as groups, whereas a couple of our lads that we talked are in hotel rooms on their own after failing. That's a hard place to be as a pro. And like, is there any area that you think could have helped you a little bit more? Sort of that sort of Golf Ireland, Sport Ireland wing of that migration from amateur into the pro game.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, actually. Yeah, I would say if we were kind of maybe in groups a bit more when we went away, that's actually a really good point. I think that would have been nice. Yeah, as you say, like it's very lonely. Like I know we kind of stay with each other now and then, but we're very much individual people. But yeah, as you say, when you see like the French and the Danes and stuff like that, they feel like they're, as you say, they've like ex-players with them nearly. I think that would have been kind of nice to get a little bit more of a kind of a homely feel as such being away, because it's quite tough. I suppose you could play kind of competitive games with each other and that sort of stuff. I think that would have been nice being away for sure. I think that would have been important. But in terms of like me actually saying, I don't know what they could have done differently. I suppose they're still trying to figure it out, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And you probably got a lot more help than a lot of people would have. You know, you were able to attract good sponsors. You had you earned the right to have the Sport Ireland grants through your amateur status and your standing and what you achieved there. But yeah, it's just always an interesting one for us, because there's no it's to get people to understand. There's no easy fix to this. There's so many layers. There's no one thing that will like. If there was one thing, they would do it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out like what. Yeah, I think if I was going back and if I was recommending a thing, I think that would have been nice actually. If you went away and there was, like you say,
pods.
Exactly, pods. Yeah, like say if you did like a TrackMan test or a, you know, maybe on a Wednesday and you play against the peers or whatever, and then you know, you went down and played 9 holes, a few money games or whatever it may be. It kind of creates a like competitive kind of nature on kind of the Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you go in Thursday, but at least you have like lunch together. And like how many times I went away, but look, maybe that's just the nature. Maybe there's not that many of us out there that we can do that, you know. Well, I feel like there's a lot more French and Danes, maybe because of the population size and stuff like that. But yeah, like the amount of times I've had lunch on my own, dinner on my own, and stuff like that, it's quite difficult.
It's soul destroying, isn't it? Because then you're thinking about everything that's happening. That's when the separation from what happens on the course and what happens off the course gets blurred.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't take your scores with you to dinner, and you're on a hiding to nothing.
Yeah. It's the hardest part nearly is not playing. It's only the easiest part when you're kind of there, but yeah, when you're at home and you know your tee time's off for another 24 hours, you have to think, you know, about everything you did in the previous 18 holes. It can be quite, as you say, soul destroying. So.
The guys now that are looking to turn pro and have an eye on the pro game, would you like to help them? Would you be like, as in, I don't mean job wise, I mean like you're going down your own, but like, do you feel you could help someone now if they're taking that step into the pro game and help them with what you've learned over the last couple of years?
Ooh. I think so. Yeah, I think I don't know how much I would be able to help, but I could give them my kind of feedback. It all depend on the person. Like how many days they want to go away. Like, I mean, for me, I used to go 2 or 3 days early to an event. That just didn't work. I kind of figured out after a few years. So maybe that might help someone, even if you go like a day later or whatever it may be.
And what was the thought process behind that? It was just get there early,
preparation,
prepare as much as possible.
Exactly. And I just, by the time
you burn yourself out.
Exactly. Yeah, burn myself out. Practice too much, or because the facilities were good, I just did too much.
It was the Harrington way of like minimal
and that's
practice.
When I heard that, that's when I
really,
yeah,
because he just wants to be the freshest he can be on Sunday afternoon, not Thursday morning. Whereas you're aiming for Thursday.
Yeah, and that's when I heard that, I was like, oh my god, that was what, 2 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, 3 years ago, I think. Yeah.
And like I've had some decent results since then. I would like to think so. That's that was one thing I took from Harrington. It was quite interesting. So just little stuff like that. But I think I would be able to help a person. Yeah.
Who's in that professional light, be it Porrick or Shane, obviously county man, you know, he's in. Who has reached out to you the most or helped you the most with little nuggets of things, or helped you at events or at different things in the past, or
player wise?
Yeah.
I haven't really got much from Shane or Porrick. Just might get the odd text here and there, but not like a massive amount, to be honest. They're kind of doing their own thing, I suppose. But yeah, I always reach out to like say if I play with guys who are similar level to me, and I'd always ask them if I'm comfortable enough with them. I always ask, what do you think of my game? And I'd say just be as critical as you can about it, whether that's a good thing or bad things. So yeah, I always like doing that. It can be hard to hear, but I think it's a good thing for your peers to assess you.
What's the toughest thing a peer said to you?
Talking about my mentality.
Really?
Yeah.
Of just not switching on?
I get a little bit heated, I suppose, at times, and I wouldn't say the nicest things to myself at times. So yeah, stuff like that, and then maybe some aspects of my game like bunker play or something like that. But hearing about when people criticise your mentality is quite tough to hear.
Did you watch the Harrington Peter Finch thing? Actually,
I haven't yet. No.
You should watch that.
Right. Okay.
Harrington is amazing at that. Like for anyone that hasn't watched that on mentality, he literally gets into Peter Finch's head. I think they're playing Portmarnock Lynx, are they?
I think so. Yeah.
And it's all about like, why are you talking to yourself like that? Like, what, you would not let someone else say that to you. Why are you talking to yourself like that? And he literally spent 10 minutes going through with Peter Finch, like another professional player, like a PGA pro, but going through like, why don't you not, like, you should be feeling like you are the most capable person to do this. Why are you introducing doubt? Why are you, like, it's so good on mentality. Wow, it's really good.
Yeah, I must I'll look at that. Yeah, because
should write to him. Get out to us. Anyone I know that has written to Borwick Harrington or properly asked him to go up to for a cup of tea.
Yeah,
he'll help you. You might be good crowd. Good to sit down with. He's really good off season now. He doesn't have much coming up in the next month. You know, the P&C with the young lads. That's it. But no, there's so many layers to that though. When you've a peer telling you, it's hard to. It's hard. It's home.
Hard. Yeah, like I don't mind someone criticising your bunker player, chipping, whatever. But when someone criticises you the way you kind of talk to
process,
yourself, it's
just more of a personal attack almost. It feels
literally, and it's something that I'll always kind of struggle with, but I'm still trying to get better at it. Yeah.
Are you looking forward to? I know it's hard to get free time now with the young one in the house, but are you looking forward to maybe being able to enjoy the things that you wouldn't necessarily have had time to do in the past?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, I don't know what they may be at this given moment, but I'm looking forward to being.
Carla's screaming, listening to this now, going, "I have a list. I have a list."
Yeah, she said, like, I'm not starting for 3 weeks, and she was like, "Oh yeah, there's loads of stuff now around the house you can do," and I'm like, "Okay," but I am. Yeah, like looking forward to doing a couple of bits with the house and not traveling as much and stuff like that. So yeah, I am looking forward to life things, I suppose.
Yeah. Any other hobbies that you might take up or return to that you would have done before?
Maybe five-a-side.
I was thinking that.
But maybe not with a tennis thing running across the middle of it. But yeah, maybe. But like, as I said, like, I'm still looking to kind of itch to play kind of high level golf next year just as an amateur. So I still want to be a bit careful, but I still be, as disciplined as ever and stuff like that. But yeah, maybe the five-side.
Yeah.
Maybe five-side.
No, it's going to be it'll be such a change for you.
Yeah.
I know you're looking at it really positive, but like, it will be a tough couple of months. It'll be a tough adjustment.
It will be, yeah. I think, as I was saying to you earlier, like, I think in 2 months' time it'll really hit me. But look, that's just the way it is, and I think I'll get over that pretty quickly, because in November or December it won't be so nice weather-wise and stuff like that, and I won't have to go out and practice in it. But yeah, it'll take time.
And mentally, it's so good to know that when it comes to April, you're not missing a golf season. So when it comes to April, you're straight up and like, you're gonna be sharp when it comes to April. Like, if you're still gymming like you are, eating like you are when you were in the pro side of things, practicing as much, you probably have more structure to your practice now because you don't have the travels and you know what times you can do it. You're going to be sharp come April, and that's nice to have. I know, listen, the guys at DFP listening, he's going to be working his ass off in there as well. But it's nice to know that that's there. That, like, it would have been horrible. It would have been nice to make a few more quid, but it would have been horrible dropping back now. Imagine having a year or 2 years to wait to get that back. That'd be soul destroying.
That would be, yeah. And I was kind of preparing myself for the year, and I got the word yesterday. It was only 6 months, which I was delighted with. just whatever way I fell off or fell under the threshold rather. But yeah, I will be sharp. Yeah, and as I said, like I'll be working Monday to Friday, so I'll have a structure. Like I can practice maybe in the evenings and the weekends and stuff like that. And yeah, I'll keep up the gym, the eating, all that sort of stuff, because it's just kind of built into me now since the last, kind of 10, 15 years nearly of kind of playing decent level golf. So, yeah, and look, I have ambitions to do well next year, and that's the plan,
Where else, Ronan? Where else do you want to go with this man?
I want to go play five-a-side with him.
You just can't have a little tennis thing in the middle. Right?
No, definitely not. No, but like you seem at peace with yourself and with the decision you've made, and like I suppose when you sit back and look at the future, it looks really, really bright.
Yeah, I'm still, as we're saying, I'm still coming to terms with it. But yeah, as of right now, I'm very content, at peace with it. I'm excited for the future. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing a young lad grow up, and looking forward to all life's kind of goals, or whatever you want to call them. But yeah, I'm very, very content, I think.
You'll have a job. You can sort out our tax affairs in here.
Yeah, you have my number.
We'll get you sorted. Yeah, we'll get you in here. You'll be busy.
Yeah, you have my number and everything, so you let me know.
Before we do wrap it up, though, there are so many people that have helped you in your pursuit of a professional career. Like I know, like Mitsubishi and guys like that, Kieran Moody, that have helped you lots.
Yeah.
Over the last while, and there's a list of people. Like there's people you obviously want to name check and just thank.
Yeah.
For
There's
what they helped you with.
Yeah. Where do I start? I mean, from this year only, like flow gas between John Rudy, John Conroy, Hibernia Steel, Ray Moore, Kieran Moody and Mitsubishi. We've had a great relationship, and obviously DFP, who've kind of given me the kind of gateway into another kind of career, and to Owen Doohan and everyone there. So yeah, all these people have been very, very good to me, and I still have a great relationship with those people. And maybe next year with going forward, we might continue something. We'll have to kind of figure that out. But yeah, they've been very good to me, and I can't thank them enough for all the opportunities they've given me. So yeah.
On to the next chapter.
On to the next chapter, exactly.
No, listen, Stuart, it's been an absolute pleasure. We've enjoyed every minute of tracking you through your pro career, and we're really looking forward to Lahinch now in 2026.
Thanks very much. Thanks
a lot. All right, really
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Cheers.